double overtime thriller against a March Madness regular and a matchup against a former NCAA national champion. All in all, just another week for the University of South Dakota men's basketball program. Hello and welcome to Coyote Corner. I'm Alex Heinert. Before we get to those highlights, we want to pass along best wishes to the usual face of our show, Jay Elson, who's out sick this week. Hey, get better soon, buddy. Speaking of getting better, with 3 wins in their last 4 games heading into this past week's action, the USD men appeared to be doing just that after a slow start to the season. But with games against Big East power Creighton and perennial Mountain West contender UNLV on the dockets, the road to get back to 500 was set to be a difficult one. That journey started in Omaha last Tuesday night in front of nearly 17,000 fans at CenturyLink Center. Craig Smith and the Yotes taking on a Creighton team just 2 days removed from beating Nebraska in Lincoln, but it would be the visitors setting the tone early. Trey Burnett here gets to the rack and draws the foul. Then the junior grabs the rebound off the Austin Chapman miss, outlets to Trey Norris, only to get the ball right back and nail the 3 to put the Coyotes up 15-5 early. Trey would have a season-high 16 points in the first half alone, helping South Dakota maintain its lead throughout the opening 20 minutes and take a 28-25 advantage going into the break. The Blue Jays would fight back in the second, though. Nice ball movement here from the home side, with the rock eventually finding its way to the point guard Chapman, who hits the 3 on the wing. He'd finish with a team-high 24 points and help Creighton build up a lead of as many as 9 with just 3 minutes remaining. In typical USD fashion, though, the Coyotes would rally down 63-59. Boss finds Tyler Larson, makes a little room for himself, and drains this triple with 9 seconds remaining to cut the Blue Jay lead to 1. After 2 free throws from Isaiah Zierden put the Yotes down by 3, enter Larson again, this time at the buzzer to send the game into overtime, all tied at 65. In the extra frame, Creighton would jump out to a 7-point advantage, though another Yote comeback would soon follow. Trey Norris hits another huge 3 right here with 34 seconds left to send the game into a second overtime. But in the end, clutch shooting from James Milliken, among others, would be too much to overcome, with Creighton surviving 2 late Brandon Boss 3s to win 91-88 and to extend their home winning streak to 24 games. Milliken would come off the bench to finish with a career-high 23 points, 10 of which coming in overtime, though the game's leading scorer was Tyler Larson with 25 in those 2 big 3s at the end of regulation. He, along with Burnett and Boss, accounted for 80% of the scoring for the Coyotes in the losing efforts.
I can't say I've ever played a game like this, in front of this environment, against a Big East team. You know, we're South Dakota. I'm pretty sure nobody picked us to win. So we just came in here with the mentality that we're going to fight till the end. You know, our record might not show it, but we definitely fight relentlessly. And we just got to turn them into wins.
Fast forward to Saturday and another high-profile clash for Larson and the Yotes, this time against a 6-2 UNLV team at the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls. Early on, South Dakota would stick right with the running Rebels. Nice assist here from Casey Kasperbauer to Eric Robertson. Big man would have a season-high 12 points and 9 boards on the night. A few trips down the floor later, it's a quick first step and another good finish at the rim from Tyler Larson here on the reverse. Later in the half, Larson gets the outlet from Robertson, pushes the floor, and look at this find to Brandon Boss in transition for the lay-in and the lead at 29-28 with 5 minutes remaining in the first. That would be the last time USD would be in front. UNLV would go on a 14-2 run to close out the half. Mountain West preseason freshman of the year, Rashad Vaughn, was a big reason for that, with 14 of his 18 points coming in the first alone. South Dakota turnovers were a problem, as well as 13 giveaways from the Coyotes led to 20 points at the other end, with the dagger coming here on this Patrick McCaw steal and 3 at the halftime buzzer to push the Rebel lead to 42-31 at the break. USD would cut the deficit to 8 with just 2 minutes remaining in the game, but that would be as close as the Coyotes would get as they fall 75-61. Just 4 days after hitting 11 threes against Creighton, the Yotes would connect on just 2 against the Rebels, shooting 12% from distance. Boss would lead all scorers with 19 points, with Larson and Robertson both in double figures as well. The losses against the Blue Jays and running Rebels dropped the Yotes to 3-8 on the season, but there's much to be optimistic about around Coyote Nation. For more on the state of USD men's hoops, we sit down with head coach Craig Smith coming up next.
Coyote Corner on Midco Sports Network is presented by BillionAuto.com.
Welcome back to Coyote Corner. Joining us now talking USD men's hoops, the head coach of USD, Craig Smith. Craig, thanks for joining us. Busy week for you guys. 2 big games against national powerhouses. You started off on Tuesday in Creighton, a familiar spot for you, a double overtime loss, but really just the game of the year around these parts. Talk about that game against the Blue Jays.
It was a great opportunity for our guys to be able to go to Creighton, play against a team with the rich history that they do, and they have a fantastic team, being ranked in the top 25 a couple weeks ago. Great environment, had just under 17,000 fans there, and I thought we did a great job. We competed really well. I thought we executed our game plan extremely well and gave ourselves a chance to win down the stretch. We made some big time plays to force overtime. Got down by 7 early in the first overtime, but just had a never say die spirit to us. And what an experience for our program.
And you led 28-25 at the half. They go on a bit of a run midway through the third, and it kind of looked like they were going to pull away. But again, great resiliency from your team and huge shot making. Kind of the entire Larson with 2 big threes to push it into overtime.
Yeah, it's always good to play from in front, especially when you're on the road. And we were able to do that early and withstand some punches. And then there was about a 4-minute stretch there, about midway through the second half, where they kind of put a run on us and got up. And our guys have a great attitude to them. They have a competitive spirit. They really bought into our culture. And you're right. I mean, Tyler Larson made 2 threes in the last 11 seconds. We really executed down the stretch. Couldn't have been prouder of our guys' effort.
The mood in the locker room, obviously it was a close game against a big-time opponent. You still come away with a loss, but the guys had to feel pretty good about the fight that they showed.
Yeah, nobody's into moral victories.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's a process for us. Everything's so new, and everything, we're just trying to keep getting better and better. And we're thinking about our end game. And our end game is trying to win the conference tournament. The Summit League has 1 team that's going to make the NCAA tournament. And so as long as we can just keep getting better and keep getting better and keep getting better, great things will happen. Pretty soon that door is going to knock open. At the same time, you don't have those opportunities very often. And when you look back and you see this mistake, or man, we missed this layup or that free throw, but the key is you just got to live and learn and keep moving forward.
Yeah. Fast forward to Saturday, you take on again another national powerhouse in UNLV. You lose 75-61 at the Pentagon, but a game that through the first half, right with this team side by side, they pulled away a little bit toward the end of the first and made it a little further of a contest.
Yeah, it was kind of a rock fight early on in particular, really low scoring. We didn't get our first bucket until about almost 4 minutes into the game. But really, I thought defended them very well. At the end of the day, our offense was their best offense. In the first half, we turned it over 13 times, which led into 20 direct points for them. Part of winning on the road and winning against teams that maybe are a little more talented than you is you have to eliminate losing. And that means you got to end possessions with defensive rebounds. That means you have to take great shots. And that means you can't turn the ball over. And against Creighton, we did a phenomenal job with that. And that's why we had a chance to win that game at the end. Against UNLV, we didn't do such a good job.
You end up taking the loss, and you have to move on. Now you got a couple of big games coming up this week, Montana State coming up, and then Montana to follow.
It's going to be a great test for us. We've lost a couple in a row against some really good opponents. But how do we respond? How do we come back? What's our resiliency? And I've been around this business for 19 years, so when you get to this time of year, it's finals week. Most of the students start leaving campus when they're done. There's nobody around, so it gets quiet. And then the guys are looking forward to seeing Santa Claus. They're looking forward to getting home and seeing their family. And so you got to eliminate distractions. You got to handle outside influences. And we have to have the wherewithal to come back and really lock into getting better. We'll finally have 3 practices in a row. And we need it. We need to tighten some things up and fine-tune some things. And so great week, Montana and Montana State on Thursday night, and Montana on the road on Sunday. Kind of in the same boat as us, new coaches, new style of play, new players, and a little bit up and down. And so we're really looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, a couple of good tests coming up, Coach. We wish you the best of luck. Thanks again for joining us. Merry Christmas.
I appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you. Go Yotes.
Hey, go. We'll be back in just a bit. Another week. By the way, another win for the USD women. After the break, we'll have full highlights of the Yotes victory last week over Valparaiso here on Coyote Corner.
Coyote Corner on Midco Sports Network is presented by BillionAuto.com.
Welcome back. Well, we're only a month into the 2014-15 Hoops campaign, but it looks as though the USD women's basketball team is already rounding into midseason form. The Yotes came into last week's contest against Valparaiso, averaging 80.9 points per game. That's 25th best in the country, and having won 6 of their first 8. The Coyote women looking to add to that win tally against the 3-5 Crusaders, and they would jump out early thanks to their defense. A minute into the contest, it's Taya Heemiller with the steal and the breakaway layup. 2 trips down the floor later, Heemiller again gets in the passing lane, tipping the entry feed to Margaret McLeod, onto Nicole Seekamp, who finds Rachel Contreras for the reverse. The Coyotes would start the game on a 14-2 run, and they would continue to pile it on their guests from there. Seekamp here with a jumper off the glass for 2 of her team-high 16 points on the night. More Coyote offense. McLeod receiving the perfect lob from Lisa Loeffler for the easy lay-in. McLeod would finish with 9 points and 12 boards. The transition game was working as well for USD. Here on the Valpo miss, it's Heemiller to Seekamp to the hustling Kate Liveringhouse for 2. South Dakota would lead 42-24 at the half and never look back as they win their 5th straight, 81-62, to improve to 7-2 on the season. Every Coyote who saw the floor got in the scoring column in what was a dominant performance all around. The Yotes would out-rebound Valparaiso by 22 boards and were nearly perfect from the foul line, going 19 for 20 on the night. A fast start once again proved to be the tone setter for the victory.
This year, our first half seems to be our half where we kind of get out and get after it a little bit more. Last year it was more our second half. We started off slow, and then our second half we would kind of step into gear. And this year we seem to be, like last game we were up 21-2. This game I think it was like 15-3 or something at one point. So I think we're just getting after it at the start.
The Coyotes will hope to continue their strong start to the season with 2 more games this week. We'll preview those contests against St. Mary and North Dakota with head coach Amy Williams after the break.
Coyote Corner on Midco Sports Network is presented by Billionato.com.
Welcome back to Coyote Corner, talking some USD women's hoops right now with the head coach, Amy Williams. Amy coming off a great win over Valparaiso back on Tuesday. Again, a 19-point victory, 81-62. That was a game much like that Cal State Fullerton game a couple of weeks ago. You got off to such a quick start thanks to so much defensive pressure. What has really been the key to those quick starts the last couple of weeks?
You know, we do make an emphasis every ball game to have those first 5 minutes try to set the tone for the ball game, and I think our kids have really bought into that, and the last couple of games have done just an outstanding job of being sharp and coming out aggressive in those first 5 minutes, which was great to see.
Yeah, it certainly showed. It was just turnover, point, turnover. I mean, it was just consistent through that first half, and really impressive to see that intensity right away.
Right. I think that our team has done an outstanding job of on those turnovers of just having an attack mentality and really being aggressive about getting ourselves to the basket and really trying to create offense when we do have a turnover, turn that into points for our team.
You led 42-24 at the half, and really were in kind of cruise control mode as the second half was going along, and that wasn't something you appreciated so much. There was a timeout. You had a couple words for the girls to kind of get them fired up. What did you say in that huddle?
You know, I think, we talked about just not being satisfied and don't play the scoreboard. It's been a goal of ours here lately to try to start stringing together closer to 40 minutes of a game and not just take breaks and have some great flashes and then have some, runs where we're not so great. And I thought, our kids, we got a little bit comfortable there in the second half and kind of were playing the scoreboard and took things easy. We started wanting to get everything easy and had some silly turnovers, just trying to make passes that are not there and were uncharacteristic of our team. So kind of a little sloppy there in the second half, and we talked about the fact that we need to clean that up here moving forward if we want to keep improving as a group.
There was a moment there in that second half. Nicole Seekamp came back into the game after being out for a bit, and she really sparked the team a bit, finished with 16 points. Lisa Loeffler had a great game with 11 and 9. I believe Margaret McLeod had a strong night as well. It's got to be nice to have those upperclassmen leaders to come in and really push your team to the finish like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. The upperclassmen, we've had lots of different people contributing and some pretty good balance, and games where Margaret has led us in scoring and Rachel has led us in scoring and Nick has led us in scoring, and lots of different people kind of stepping up and contributing, and that's good to see. And I think, we've had a couple of opportunities here in the last few ball games to play a lot of players, some significant minutes, and everybody that's been playing has been, I feel like, contributing. And Jayla Jackson came in and gave us a real spark off the bench and scored in double figures, and that's really good to see that kind of balance and lots of people being able to help and bring something to the table.
You get the 19-point win to improve to 7-2 on the season. 5 straight wins now for the women. Looking ahead, 2 more home games coming up this week. You get the University of St. Mary coming up on Thursday, then a big one against North Dakota on Sunday. Let's start with that St. Mary game. This is an NAIA school from the Kansas Collegiate Athletic Conference. And again, they're just 2-9 this season. On paper, it would look like the weekend game's a little bit bigger. How do you stay focused on the Spires on Thursday before you get to UND?
Well, I mean, the big thing is we've been taking finals all week and for a few days now. So we feel like, we got to come out and be sharp, no matter who the opponent is, no matter who we're going up against. It's another opportunity for our team to lace them up. We talk all the time, the most important game on our schedule is always the next game. And so certainly we are not doing anything to look past our game on Thursday. We're excited about the opportunity to play a doubleheader with our men and have all the Coyote fans be able to kind of cheer for both teams on the same night. And we think it's just an outstanding opportunity for us to continue to get better and work on some things and improve and help us get better as a team and continue to raise the bar.
Yeah. After that Thursday game, we will talk just quickly about that Sunday game too. That's a big game against the defending Big Sky Conference champs in UND. What do they bring to the table? What's it going to take to get a win?
Well, it's going to be a tough battle. I mean, we lost at North Dakota last year, so we feel like we kind of got some paybacks going. We really want to try to get that game, and it's something that we'll look at after Thursday's game and really focus on a game plan for North Dakota. But we know it's going to be a tough challenge. They've had a great start to their season as well, and so it's going to be. We expect a great battle in here on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it should be. That game also, by the way, too, on Midco Sports Network. Well, thanks again, Amy, for your time. Congrats on a great start to the season. Best of luck this weekend.
Thanks so much, Alex.
Coming up next after the break, Amy and the women's basketball program had their fair share of outstanding moments this past year. When Coyote Corner returns, we'll see which ones make the list of our best moments of 2014 across USD Athletics.
Coyote Corner on Midco Sports Network is presented by Billionauto.com.
Welcome back. Well, 2014 was a banner year in University of South Dakota athletics as Coyotes across disciplines brought home 4 conference championships, earned multiple individual accolades, and shined in the national spotlights. With the end of the year not far off, it's a good time to look back at some of those moments, the best University of South Dakota athletics had to offer in the last 12 months. Let's start in March and the incredible run of the Coyote women's basketball team in the Summit League tournament. Rachel Contreras' 3 heard round the world with 1.1 seconds remaining lifted the Yotes past Western Illinois and into the semifinals, where not even 5-time defending Summit champion South Dakota State could slow Amy Williams and the Yotes down. After the 72-58 win over the Jackrabbits, USD defeated Denver 82-71 in the title game to advance to their first NCAA D1 tournament appearance in just their second year of eligibility. 2 weeks later, the USD men's basketball program named Craig Smith as the 17th head coach in the program's history. Smith, a former NAIA National Coach of the Year and a longtime assistant under Tim Miles at NDSU, Colorado State, and Nebraska, took the reins at South Dakota after helping guide the Huskers to their first NCAA tournament appearance since 1998. Fast forward to May in Radio City Music Hall, the place where USD All-America linebacker Tyler Starr was selected in the 7th round of the NFL Draft by the Atlanta Falcons. After a stellar career that saw him become South Dakota's all-time sacks leader, the 2013 Missouri Valley Defensive Player of the Year became the 2nd Coyote drafted in the last 3 years and the 16th draft pick in the program's history. The following week, the USD men's track and field team added their first Outdoor Summit League team championship to the indoor crown they won in the winter, coming back from a 32-point deficit with only 5 events remaining to tie host North Dakota State and share the conference title. The 2014 event with the biggest long-term impact on USD athletics happened in mid-June with the groundbreaking on the Sports Performance Enhancement Facility Complex, the Science, Health, and Research Lab, and the Outdoor Track and Soccer Complex. Upon completion in the fall of 2016, the $66 million project will see the construction of a 6,000-seat basketball and volleyball stadium connected to the Dakota Dome, a 9-lane outdoor track, and 2 soccer fields. Back on the court, it took Kendall Crittenbrink less than 2 games into her senior season to become USD's all-time kills leader, as she broke the old mark of 1,450 set by Becky Olson in the early 2000s. A 4-time All-Summit League performer and one of the most decorated players in program history, Crittenbrink would help guide the Yotes to a semifinal berth in the conference tournament and would finish her career with 1,925 kills. The South Dakota football team picked up a statement win in September with a 28-21 victory over then number 23 Northern Arizona. The Yotes forced 3 turnovers and rushed for 304 yards to outclass a Lumberjacks team coming off an FCS playoff appearance in 2013. The Coyotes' final league championship of 2014 was captured by the South Dakota women's cross-country team, as 4 Yotes earned first-team all-league honors en route to the program's first Summit League title. Incredibly, the team scored just 29 points, a massive gap over second-place finisher and 3-time defending champion North Dakota State, who finished with 60. Not surprisingly, Coyote coach Dan Fitzsimmons was named the league's Coach of the Year. Well, lots of great moments from this past year and many more to come in 2015. Before we get to the new year, however, both men's and women's basketball have games still on the schedule, including 2 that you can watch live here on Midco Sports Network. The Coyote men host Montana State on Thursday, December 18th at 7:30 p.m., while our second broadcast of the week features the USD women taking on reigning Big Sky champion North Dakota on Sunday, December 21st at 2 p.m. Be sure to check out MidcoSN.com as well for game recaps following both of those contests, as well as updates on our Coyote Corner video blog with new posts coming out weekly. Well, that's our time for this week and our last show this year. So from all of us at Midco SN, have a safe and happy holiday season, and we'll see you in 2015 here on Coyote Corner.